Today we're going to take a look at number lines and rounding. Alrighty. So it's often helpful to use a number line to round. And rounding is helpful when we are in the real world sometimes and we just need a quick close number that doesn't have to be exact. For example, if I'm at the grocery store, I kind of round the numbers of things I'm putting in my grocery basket into my cart so I can kind of keep track of how much money I'm spending. I usually just round to the nearest 100 or the nearest 10, depending on that item. So I'm going to teach you some strategies today to help you with that. Okay, so let's think about if I were to buy something that cost me $47. Okay, I want to round this to the nearest 10. So to start, I underline the digit in the tens column. I ask myself, what is the value of that digit? Because it's a 4 and it's 4 tens, the value of that 4 is 40. And I know that using a number line is helpful when I visualize rounding. Okay? And so when I think about tens in the hundreds chart, and take a look at this hundreds chart here, I notice that when I am going by tens, just the number in the tens column goes up by 1, right? And so if I were to go up by 110, the next 10 would be 50. So I draw an open number line. I know that 41, 42, 43, 44, 45 is our halfway point. There's always a 5 in between two tens. And then 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Our numbers go in order. So if I'm going to round to the nearest 10, I can plug 47 on. I know 47 is greater than 45, so 47 would be about here. And that it looks like it's closer to 50 than it is to 40. But another strategy I can use if I don't want to use a number line is if I underline the digit that I'm rounding to. I can take a look next door and count that number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When I see that thumb, then I know that I'm going to round to the next 10 or the next 100. When I see that thumb, I round up. So 47 is closer to 50. Okay, so 47 to the nearest 10 is about 50. Okay, so let's try that with the number 62. Okay, again, I want to round to the nearest 10. I underline the digit in the tens place. I ask myself, what is the value of that digit? It's 6 tens or 60. Okay, one more 10, 60 plus 10 is 70. There's always a 5 in between. I keep this digit 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65. Okay, and I can plug my digit 62. Okay, so again, I can see that it's going to round to 60, right? Because 62 is closer to 60 than it is to 70. Or I could have just looked next door and counted 1, 2. I don't use my thumb, so this digit will stay the same, okay? So 62 rounded to the nearest 10 is about 60. Okay, so I can also use this same strategy when I'm rounding to the nearest 100. Okay, let's think about the number 134. Okay, this time I want to round to the nearest 100. I take a look, I see the number that is in the hundreds place. The value of that 1 is 100. And the next 100, if I'm counting by hundreds, 100, 200, right? This number would just go up by 1. So I've got 200 here. Just like halfway in between the tens was a 5, halfway in between the hundreds it's a 5, but it will be the digit or the value of 50. So 150 is in between. So if I were to plug this 134, I know that's in between 100 and 150, about halfway in between-ish, a little bit closer to 150. So taking a look at my number line, I can see 134 is closer to 100. But if I didn't draw this number line, I can think I'm rounding to the nearest 100. Underline the digit in the ones place, take a look next door, and I count 1, 2, 3. I don't use my thumb. So the digit in the hundreds column will stay the same. 134 is closer to 100. 134 to the nearest 100 is about 100. Okay? All right, friends, I'm going to go ahead and erase, and I want you to try a couple on your own. Okay? Go ahead and think about the number 17 to the nearest 10. Let's do 38 to the nearest 10. And let's do 152. And you know what? Let's go ahead and do that one to the nearest 10 also. Okay, friends. So go ahead and pause right here. Do the work on your own, and when you're ready to check your answer, I want you to go ahead and unpause. Okay, I hope that you've paused it, and now you're just checking your work right now. Okay, so when I take a look at 17 to the nearest 10, I look at the number in the tens column, the value of that 1 is 10. The next 10 is 20. Halfway in between would be 15. 17 is closer to 20, or I could have looked next door and counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's that thumb, so I'm going to round up. So 17 to the nearest 10 is about 20. Okay, same thing with 38 to the nearest 10. I underline the digit in the tens column. I look next door. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I see that thumb, so that tells me I'm going to round up, right? So 38 to the nearest 10 is about 40. Okay, and 152 to the nearest 10. I take a look here and I underline the digit in the tens column, right? And so I know that these will stay the same, 150. Now the next 10 would be 160. 155 is halfway in between. 152 would be about right here, right? Or I could have just underlined the digit that I'm rounding to. I'm rounding to the nearest 10. Underline that tens. Take a look next door and I count 1, 2. I don't see my thumb. So that means this is all going to stay the same. Okay, 152 to the nearest 10 is about 150. All right, friends, I hope that you learned some about number lines and rounding, and we will see you later. Thanks for watching.